Welcome to the podcast, A Drink with Derek. Follow comedian Derek Richards on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and don't forget to subscribe to his YouTube channel and watch all episodes of the podcast. Now grab a drink and join your host, Derek Richards.
This that. Hey. This that.
Rhino.
Heartbreak. Mac. Yeah.
Vegas girl always know just where the party at. All mystique, but a freak and she won't call you back. She fuck with me like the beat, I go hard in that. But her talk ain't cheap, if it ain't Benji, she want no part in that. Needs attention to feel alive. Guilty pleasures to fantasize. No intention for you and I, but she'll keep a hold on you cause of what's between her thighs. I got a part to play until she done with me. I give her all of me, just like the ones before. Can't go all these signs that I can't ignore. She's stone cold, heartless ways, let her right to my door. Broken promises, feel the empty void. Love lost on a heart you sold. Late nights, chase another ghost from your past to fit my mode, yeah. All the questions behind your lies, fabricated for your disguise. Keep it moving, ain't no place here. Moving on me like she praying. Jealous from the way she baiting. Dodging all the games she playing.
Feeling like Martin, but she my Gina. Shorty got that watermelon Aquafina. Big drip, fresh up out the cleaners. Bumping old child lights, tell me have you seen her? In my Yeezys, 300 a sneaker. Get your freak on like you misdemeanor. Name buzzing way more than a beeper, and it's still wholesale, so I got it for cheaper. Bagging on 5 dimes, sorta like white lines. Sipping on dog, don't give me no white wine. Tweet this and put it right on your timeline. She hit me for the D, so she callin' that pipeline. Thick like Cardi, that's how I like mines. Get my D on, I'ma give her that prime time. Go, she the greatest of all time. I just might wipe her, making her all mine. Red bone, knee alone, with a little mix of that Sade. Yo, my Cisco, let me see that thong. I have us a little menage. I hit it once, she came back around on that boomerang, but no strong J. She a whole snack, gave her dessert, went full course on that entree. Whoa.
Keep it moving, ain't no place here. Moving on me like she praying. Jealous from the way she baiting. Dodging all the games she playing. Keep it moving, ain't no place here. Moving on me like she praying. Jealous from the way she baiting. Dodging all the games she playing.
Hey, it's A Drink with Derek. Derek Richards, your host here. Make sure you check out all the episodes of A Drink with Derek on YouTube. If you want to listen, you can go ahead and catch those on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, also Pandora. Just type in A Drink with Derek, and you can find all this. You find great content online, including the stuff that you just heard. This sexy man who was with me here today, he is Zach Conover is my guest. He is Las Vegas born and raised R&B pop singer known as Zach Cardiac. He was first off, well, and you used to sing, well, we'll get to that here in just a second, but you had, as long as I've known you, I had, which has been probably, I would say, 3 years now?
Yeah, coming up on 3
something
years.
like that. And I had no idea that you had this talent of singing. I know your brother, and you have a couple brothers that are musically gifted. You come from, how many siblings do you have?
I have 6 siblings altogether, three brothers and 3 sisters.
Now, how many of them are involved in music?
So that's a good question. All of them are musically gifted and inclined, which is funny.
You guys are almost like the Partridge Family. That's adorable.
Yeah, of sorts, right? That's we all of us sang together in church for several years growing up and stuff. So, believe it or not, I'm not even really the singer of the family. There's my little sister's got the best voice among us all. So she's, it's always interesting. I got like a brother who plays the drums, another brother who raps, another one who plays guitar and sings. So it's like always had a little musically inclined in the family.
Now, could you guys all get together and tour, or would you kill each other?
We could do it. There'd be some chaos, I mean, all of us in the same room.
You'd have to be like in separate tour buses. You could probably pull it off.
Yeah.
You could do like maybe 3 dates. You could do like Vegas, St. George, Utah, and Salt Lake City, and then you're like, I'm out.
Yep. It had to be a quick turnaround trip. No more than 2 days. And I would want my own bus.
Hey, I don't blame you. You got a great single here, "Keep It Moving," which is now. Is this just a single that was released, or do you have a bunch of other stuff in the can already? What's the story?
So "Keep It Moving" is the first single that we released, but I have about 30 other songs that we recorded over the last year and a half, 2 years, and those will also be coming out as well. "Keep It Moving" wasn't the first single we recorded, but it was the first one we released. So
nice job. Well, you guys were, because you sang in church. Your parents were heavily involved. They were both ordained ministers, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir.
Now, did you ever consider going in that direction?
Growing up, yeah, absolutely. It was a large part of my life for many years, up until probably the time I graduated high school. So for many years growing up, I figured I would be involved with the church on some sort of pastoral team at some point in my adult life. So that was kind of like the career path, if you will, growing up, that I was definitely saw for myself. Yeah. So
something changed. I mean, so why do you hate Jesus now?
Well, I have a lot of, I have an interesting relationship with that. I've always been spiritual and believed in a higher power, but I don't. I'm not a fan of organized religion, and so around the time I graduated high school, there was just a lot of things that I had realized weren't necessarily for me, and I just kind of stopped going to church, and by proxy kind of stopped doing music for a couple of years too. I didn't really necessarily even think that was something I wanted to do at the time. Like when I stopped doing it, I obviously missed it, but it wasn't like I felt like I still needed to find a way to do music. That didn't come until about 4 years after that. So,
yeah, because you backed away from this because from what I was reading, you were involved in theater when you were in high school, and then you graduated high school, and then you went on to go ahead and pursue a bachelor's at UNLV.
Yes, sir.
And you went over there. If you say "sir" to me one more time, I feel like I'm a cop who pulled you over. I'm going to smack the crap out of you. All right, thanks. Calls me sir on this. You never call me anything other than slang nicknames.
Yeah, it's true.
And now all of a sudden, you're treating me like I'm your lawyer.
Yes, exactly. I'll try to get more comfortable as we go on.
First off, I'm honored this is your first podcast. I would have thought you would have had probably about 35 or 40 of these under your belt, and you said this is the first one, and I'm like, don't worry, it'll be easy. It'll be like awkward truck stop sex, plenty of lube, and just some whispering and gentle caressing of your hair.
Only you would know that analogy. So that's it's closely related.
I've got skills. But you went and did, so you go to UNLV, you were pursuing your bachelor's degree, and then you did that for about a year and a half, and then you started to do music again here, according to what you sent me, literally April of 2019. And so, and so between then and now, you've knocked out like 30 songs.
Yeah. It was all kind of quick. We, at the time, my oldest brother, who raps, is a hip hop artist, and he was, part owner of a recording studio out here with my current producer. His name is David Grants. And so the two of them were always working on music together, and I just had kind of figured that I wanted to give it a shot. I kind of just wrote some lyrics to a beat, and I was like, hey, could I come check it out? And I kind of just stopped in, and we recorded a quick track, and then I was like, I had a lot of fun. So I didn't even necessarily feel like I wanted to do the artist thing or any of that. I just had a lot of fun doing it. So I was like, let's do it again. And then we did it again and again and again until we were like, well, we got a catalog of music here that we should probably do something with. And then I kind of really started thinking about doing the whole artist thing, So it's kind of funny how it all worked together.
So the ripe age of 25, what is your best drunk story?
I'd have to go with a time. It was actually my first time getting drunk, to be honest. I was 14 years old. We had been going through, the loss of a family member, and my oldest brother, one day after church, as God would have it, he was like, there's this party we're going to. We should bring Zach, because my two older brothers were going. It's his first time drinking. It should be with us. So I go out there. We were drinking at a friend's house. I ended up getting pretty hammered. And my oldest brother, Eddie, was my ride. So he drives us back home. And upon arrival, we see that there's the entire congregation of our church was at our house pretty much for some sort of church meeting that we did not know was happening. And we're blitzed off of our ass. So we show up, and Ed's
what time was this?
This had to be, it was like midnight. It was really random that people were over and just, I don't know.
They decided to come by. You're going to have a meeting at midnight?
Yeah, I think they had a meeting earlier in the evening, and then they were just fellowshipping, and it carried into the later hours of the night.
Okay.
And was just divine timing, since we were coming from a friend's house, really drunk. My brother Ed wasn't, but I was. And so he's trying to kind of sneak me into the house without, people noticing that I'm as belligerent as I am. So we get, he takes me upstairs. He's like, just go to sleep. Just go to sleep. Everybody was kind of out swimming in the backyard. It was like you wouldn't have guessed it was midnight. It was very lively. And so he was just trying to convince me to just go to sleep. Just go to sleep. And I wasn't going to sleep. I was going to jump in that fucking pool. So I get changed. Everybody's outside, and I come running out, cannonballing into the pool. And everybody's looking at me like, what the hell is going on with this guy? And Zach's awfully odd today. And I was just hammered, and I'm around all these church people being as belligerent as possible on my first night being drunk. 14 years old. Yeah, I'll always remember that. And all my friends were messing with me, and all the church people were looking at me sideways. Like, what's wrong with this guy? The Holy Spirit
should have been messing with you. The best part about it is that you were safe. He had you in the house. You were in the bedroom. All you had to do was just not move.
Yeah.
And I've been in that situation. I've been there where I'm like, oh, I'm home free. Well, you know what I should do? I should tempt fate.
Exactly. Because that's what
I should see. I should see if I can do something more stupid than what I just did. So I should go out in front of all the church people, completely lit up, and start jumping in the pool and acting like an idiot. That's cool. That's a good story.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean,
14 here in Vegas. That's still kind of old for your first drunk story. Normally,
honestly,
normally the best drunk stories in Vegas happen around 6 or 7.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah,
I would imagine.
Considered, I did pretty well then. I guess I was.
You did do pretty well. Now, have you gambled here at all in Vegas? I've never known you, at least from when we've talked, to be a gambler. Are you a gambler?
Oh man, I don't gamble a whole lot. Sometimes a sports better.
Right.
I really like craps. That's really the only game I'll play. From time to time, I definitely like trying a hand at craps and seeing how the mojo is. I'll get down on some craps.
No, I love it. I found this little game, this little roulette wheel thing. This is a kid's toy, right? Because what you want to do is start your kid off gambling early. So I don't know if you pick colors or numbers, but let's just see what happens. I'm gonna you give me 4 numbers. If you pick it, I'll give you $1. I'm gonna treat it like Trading Places with Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy. So
I get 3 numbers.
Yeah, 4. You get 4 numbers. You win it. I'll give you $1. Here we go.
We'll do my lucky number 7.
Okay.
23.
All right.
15.
All right.
And 12.
Okay. Let's see what happens here. 7.
There it is.
And actually, I owe you $1. All right.
There it is. A rich man.
See, this is why I shouldn't gamble, because here I've got this stupid little kids game, and I can't even win on that. I owe you a stupid ass $1. Dude, this video is the video for Keep It Moving is very, very well done. I remember seeing teasers of it on your social media. You're like, hey,
Thank you.
announcement coming soon. And I knew that you had recorded something and you were working on a project. This thing comes out, the video. You've got, I tried to get one of the dancing girls on here and they wouldn't talk to me, which is zero surprises. But so people have very little idea of what goes into recording a song. How long did it take you to record that particular tune? Just the recording process of the song.
For just the recording process, I would say it was about 2 different sessions. So we did probably about 6 to 7 hours in total. Obviously, we had stuff written going in to the recording process. So that was just all laying vocals, mixing it, mastering it, all that kind of stuff, it gets very tedious. I'd say about 4 hours were just us laying it and doing all that. And then the other 4 to 6 hours were probably just in editing alone. So
now what about the video? What about the video itself? How long did that take to put together? International Mac, by the way, is also featured on this, also known as, I know him as EJ, but International Mac is his the one and only EJ, who is great talent.
Yes.
What was his involvement in this? Did he kind of create the video? Do you owe him money?
Yeah. Well, no, see, he was kind of the creative director for it. So he was, oddly enough, he was actually the one that kind of got me into music too and convinced me to finally just go in and give it a shot. So me and him have a handful of songs that we've done together, and he always kind of was the creative behind many of the ideas, specifically for the visual. And my buddy Kevin Johnson, he filmed the video and had several ideas that he added to it as well creatively. But for the most part, it was International Mac. And my sister, who actually choreographed the dancers, she actually had a significant amount of creative input as well that she put and added into that.
Oh, nice. See, I had no idea that Mac was as involved as he was. So is he like So is he like Hall and your Oates? Is that how this is going to be played out?
Definitely. He's very much got the brains behind it. It's he's incredibly talented, and he does a lot of different stuff. So he's kind of the jack of all trades, and he does some editing, he does the music, he does the creative aspect as well. So it's definitely a huge plus having somebody like that in our corner, especially for me. Like even though I have been singing for quite a long time, I haven't really been a creative for as long of a time, and so being able to have somebody to help you direct your thoughts is nice too, until I can really get my feet under me and trust that creative process myself.
Now, how long did it take to put the video together?
The video was put together over the course of 3 weeks. So we had 3 weeks rehearsal for all of the dancers. And obviously my sister was the one who choreographed all of that. So she worked with them every week. And then for me and Mac, we just kind of developed, we were finding the studio, the right place to film it all, and kind of putting together in chronological order how we wanted it shot and how we wanted it to come together. So it was probably about a month at the end of the day, probably took a whole month to get it done. We ended up filming it on December 9th of 2020. So, and it didn't come out until 3 months after that. So we spent a lot of time in post-production as well. Just between editing stuff, revising things, color grading was a lot of time too. A lot of that stuff takes, a long time. So, it was kind of nice too, though, because we don't have the pressure of having people waiting and anticipating it. I didn't have any other songs out before that, so there wasn't people waiting on the next track. It was just kind of like whenever we can get this out, it'll be out. But we definitely didn't want to rush it. There's definitely things, creatively that we were able to take notes on that I think would make it easier for the next time. But all in all, it was quite an experience learning that it does take, up to 2 months probably just to get the entire video ready to go. It's quite a long time.
Well, you recorded this during the pandemic. So, I'm looking at the video, and Zach, I'm telling you, I don't see any masks. So have you had any Karens hit you up for not being responsible during the COVID?
I haven't had too many people hit me up specifically on social media. But I've had a few people. Oh, you're filming a video during COVID. That's interesting. What are the regulations? And the good news is that the studio we were recording out of had several specific guidelines for when we were off camera and stuff like that. So even though in a lot of the shots there wasn't any masks on, in between shots everybody was we got tested before then. Nobody had positive tests, and we wore masks in between shots. But
because nobody wants to have that. Yeah, nobody wants to have that blanket of
exactly.
Of crap hanging over them if somebody ends up getting COVID and then they contact trace it back to you and stuff like that. And it's like,
absolutely,
whatever. I love the artwork. Is that the album cover? The artwork is cool as hell. People need to go on your social media, and we'll get all that afterwards here. Which, we'll say it now. What's your hookup on social media?
So across all platforms, I'm Zach Cardiac, 2 words. Zach, ZACH, cardiac, like cardiac arrest. So pretty universal across all platforms. And thank you for the compliment on the artwork as well. I really liked it. Eddie J, my older brother who raps as well, he put together the artwork. So he's very talented with Photoshop. So he put all of that together for us. He's actually doing all of my singles that are coming out. He's got a hand in all the artwork. So it's a huge.
Now, is that just for the single "Keep It Moving," or is that the album cover?
Yes. So that was just for "Keep It Moving."
Okay.
At this point in time, we were considering doing an album. We have enough songs and content for that, but at the same time, I think since I'm new to it, it would be better to just have some singles. So we were thinking about releasing an EP's worth of songs as just singles. And that way, it keeps everybody's attention. It's a new song every week. And then after all the songs are released, we put them in one place in an EP where you can find them all together.
So how does that work? In terms of you putting all this stuff together, this is a daunting project, especially for somebody who doesn't have an actual record label. And so you're handling this all by yourself. So how does this end up? So how do we go from you here now to you playing T-Mobile Arena? How is this evolved to where, because this is as good as anything that I've heard on the radio. Thank you,
Derek. I appreciate that. That's a really good question too. One thing that we've kind of had to take into consideration through all of the marketing and stuff too is that there's really no way to do this as an independent artist, like that's set in stone. So it's totally up to you how you want to do it. And for me, I feel like the best way is to just release the music and, have a decent amount of marketing behind it to where I can find, the audience that would like my music. But there's really no recipe for it. So for us, it's a mix of, live shows and then bartering that with new releases. And that's why I think having a single or releasing all the songs as singles is probably better for the attention span of people on social media, since everything is very rapid and turns around very quickly. If I give them 7 songs, the odds of everybody feeling inclined to listen to all 7 probably isn't the same as if I just did 7 weeks of 7 singles.
No, their heads would explode.
That's a good point too, though, because I really don't know. So I think it's kind of about testing both of them, you know what I mean? Seeing what kind of works, and then just reading and reacting and seeing what people like, seeing what they don't like, and then just catering to that audience, So hopefully, as things are opening back up and shows are becoming a thing, we've already done one show, and it was a good turnout, and everybody had a great time. So we're looking forward to doing bigger venues as they continue to open up. I think that'll play a huge part in all of that as well. So,
well, you got 30 songs recorded, you said.
Yes,
any
sir.
Love songs?
Yes, a handful of love songs.
Chicks dig the ballads.
Yeah, that's a funny.
That's when the panties and the bras start flying towards the stage.
It's true, right?
Here we go.
Right. And that's one of the main reasons why we do this is for the ladies, of course. But
and you said that so you say that so methodically and so businesslike.
Yeah.
Well played.
Thank you. It's I'm trying to it's always there. I always try to cater mostly to females, being that I'm singing as well. And it's funny about the point that you make with love songs, and that is that's kind of where I'm most comfortable as in a singer-songwriter kind of ballad type style. Hip hop was actually
Really?
more of the more recent sound that we experimented with.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm definitely looking forward to releasing some of the slower tracks and more of the singer-songwriter kind of style music as well. So I've been trying to get a nice collection. So hopefully I have something for everybody, even if you don't like hip hop. I can get something that's more jazzy or bluesy or R&B or kind of just touching all the bases. There is kind of the goal. So
See, I can see a video. I can see a love song video. You in like, let's see, let's go with like a white linen shirt opened up
Okay.
all the way to the front, kind of blowing in the breeze.
Yeah,
totally. Exactly. And then you're standing on the shores of Lake Mead, and there's like used hypodermic needles washing up behind you, and then like a dead body, and then that's like the person.
Surfacing.
That's the person you loved and lost, and that's where she came up, and then end of song. Every woman in the audience will be crying. I've got ideas.
I think
this next song should be Zach Cardiac featuring Derek Richards. See you, Mac.
Yeah, exactly.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
New director.
My creative director.
New director in town.
Exactly.
Slide over.
I'll tell you what, it's very Vegas theme. That's kind of in tune with the town we live in for sure. So I'm not opposed to it. I like everything. So I think I should give you a shot, Derek. I think you're greasing the machine. You should definitely get a shot at this whole director thing.
I like it. Now, if you were to write a song about me, what would you call it?
I would say we would do a country rendition of Mary Had a Little Lamb, and we would call it Derek Had a Bottle of Tullamore Dew.
Oh!
Something. And then it would be a hit all across the country.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Mary Had a Little
Derek
Lamb.
the Destroyer. Derek the Destroyer.
Country western version. Derek Had a Bottle of Tullamore Dew. I like how you. I like how you put
it's
that
kind
together.
Of simple. Yeah. It'd have like a nice little hook there. We could have you doing an Irish jig or something.
It's got to be simple. If it's about me, it's got to be simple. It can't be anything complicated.
Yeah, exactly. Just give you a bottle of whiskey and you can make the show happen. I think.
So now, what's the next song that's coming out here? Because I know there was some mention of it on your social media. Now, is the next song similar to Keep It Moving? Is it in the same vein, or are you kind of bouncing around with different types of beats or different? I don't want to say different genre, but but a different style.
Yeah. So on Friday, our Overdrive, the second single's releasing, and Overdrive is very similar to Keep It Moving in style. Kind of a darker hip hop beat. Got some R&B style in there, but mostly, very hip hop oriented. So very much in the same vein. I felt like both of them were very similar, so we wanted to put them both out first. Just because even me and International Mac have other songs together as well that are very different stylistically than those two as well. So I think putting those two out and then being able to move on to some of the other stuff and showing off other styles is coming next. So I'm excited for that as well. But Overdrive comes out on Friday. Second single, we'll have a lyric video and stuff for that as well. So there'll be more content to follow the song as well.
No, that's super cool. What's the what would be a dream recording session for you? You go in the studio and you're going to sing with a couple other people. Say you can bring 3 other people in the studio to do a tune with you.
I would have to go with John Mayer. I'd have to go with John Foreman from Switchfoot. I don't know if you listen to Switchfoot. And then I'd switch it up and do something crazy with like a Stevie Wonder or a Snoop Dogg. Just because I know Snoop Dogg is weird to throw in there too, but both of them I feel like are very musically inclined and influence a lot of music just outside of their own genres. And Stevie Wonder's Stevie Wonder, so I just
Stevie is Stevie, but the Snoop Dogg John Mayer combination I did not see coming.
That's interesting, right?
That's like Vince Neil from Motley Crue and Wayne Newton.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly, yeah. Very, very offsetting, but I don't know. I've always loved Snoop Dogg. Even when I was a homeschooled church-going kid, I always saw Snoop Dogg on TV and at the basketball games. He was always having a great time. Had a
Snoop
solo
Dogg's
cup,
great.
drinking something, and I was always like, I wish I want to live like Snoop Dogg. I bet he has fun everywhere he goes.
Yes, you want to live like Snoop Dogg. That's exactly what you want. You should get completely stoned and then come back home and then have the church people there again. The first time that you get completely, yes, the first time you get completely baked out of your gourd. I mean, like really ripped out of your gourd, smoking up. What you want to do is then have the church people come back. The same church people. It's got to be the same people showing up at the same time.
Gosh. Yeah.
And your brother trying to sneak you in the house once again, and you screw it all up.
Can you imagine? I'll tell you what, though, if we put
yes,
together an orchestra, a church ensemble, it would sound a hell of a lot more amazing than it did. So, I'm not opposed to it. Again, I would smoke around them all. Welcome them all in. Not opposed to it.
Well, now you've got a good producer. It was at any point in time was David like the douchebag producer? You always end up hearing like a VH1 behind the music, and the first album that somebody recorded, like they wanted to change everything. No, we got to scrap this. We need to add keyboard, put more guitar fills here. Was he like that at any point? The funny thing is I know the guy, and he's like one of the nicest people and insanely talented. So I would love to see him just become unhinged because he is so calm and so level-headed. I would just love to see him snap and just throw shit around a studio because you were screwing up.
Me too. But
I guess the question would be, did he direct you in any, push you in any kind of direction, or did you guys were you already all on the same page?
That's a really good question. David's, like you said, very, very talented, very nice guy. But he also has, a really good ear. And so like part of the learning curve with me and him working together was being able to feel out the song and go like, this is something I want to do with the song, but he might hear something else as well. And so initially, like he was, if it was my song and I told him like, hey, I have a song that I'm doing, at first he wouldn't really even give a lot of creative advice on it. But then as we started recording more together, he would start giving input and adding in places. And, now we kind of have a groove where I can sit in the booth and he's mixing and I can do a take and I know exactly what he heard and he'll go, I think this should be a little better. And I go, I hear you. That's exactly what I was thinking. And we're kind of gelling together now, where after like the first 5 or 6 songs, it was more like I kind of needed more of a direction as I was figuring out who I am as an artist and what I wanted to talk about. And just all of those things coming together. I was really making music that wasn't necessarily true to who I am. It was just kind of, again, me making a song, which was cool too, because in that, there's a lot of truth in finding yourself and who you are as an artist. And David kind of helped facilitate that and go, this sounds really good, but this could have a cooler twist, or this could, go a little deeper here, whatever. And so he is the ace in the hole for sure. That guy is really talented and has really helped as far as the direction of a complete song. Like before, for instance, not to get too monotonous with it, but like I would do. I would have a verse and a hook, and the verse and the hook were cool. But then by the time the second verse came around, the second verse wouldn't necessarily be up to par with the first. And so he would give better direction for that. And then we could make it more of a complete track altogether. And I'm beyond thankful to be able to work with him. And I just have so much fun doing it that like, it's one of the funnest things in the world is to just get in the booth and just record music, whatever the track is, whatever the song is. So,
well, don't kiss his ass too much. He's going to want some more money.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. We gotta.
David, you're really, really good, but you're kind of a, like a B.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
He's always in my ear. He's always telling me shit.
You're always kind of being snappy and bitchy. So, you're a solid B. You're a good B student.
Yeah. He's always available. So that's why I
keep him under control. You know what I mean? Yeah. You gotta, keep him suppressed like a 50s housewife. Just a little bit, Just make the sandwich. Just get me a beer. All right, David.
It's too hard to ask. Maybe you'll get the reaction you've been looking for. Maybe he would lose his mind in the booth one of these days.
He's going to lose his mind after he hears this. He's going to come and smack me upside the head is what he's going to do. So where can people find... I know, right? Where can people find all of your stuff? I know it's people can go to your social media stuff and find it there, but what are the platforms that people can go on to download your stuff and to stream?
Yeah. Okay. So I have, if you find me on any social medias, I have a bio. In my bio, you'll find a link to all of it. But otherwise, the songs, Keep It Moving is available on all digital streaming platforms across any network. So if you use anything from Apple Music to Spotify to YouTube Music or Amazon, all that stuff, you can find it on any digital streaming platform, and YouTube as well. The music videos on YouTube exclusively, so you can find that on YouTube.
Oh man, I am super stoked for you. Super happy that this is coming together as well as it is, and I'm gonna give you a chance to win another $1.
Oh man,
I'm keeping the same 4 numbers: 7, 23, 15, 12. Let's see what happens here. Zach Cardiac. The song Keep It Moving, Overdrive coming out here. Hang on, what we got? Oh, 18. You didn't win $1. That time. You still got $1 coming to you.
Are we even now? Do we break even?
No. You still got $1 coming to you. I'm not going to be
there we go.
A douchebag and change the rules on you at the last minute. I was giving you a chance to win an extra $1. No, I'm so happy this has worked out as well. I'm so happy this worked out as well as it did. Always great to see local talent out there kicking ass. And I mean, you've got a great crew working with you. I know you got a good head on your shoulders and you're extremely talented. And so people should hit you up, social media, Zach Cardiac. Where did you come up with that, by the way? I meant to ask you that. How did that name come about?
I was thinking about it too hard, and I had a bunch of other names, and ZC.
What were the other names?
Initials.
What were the other names?
The original name I was going to go by was Heartbreak. It was like HRTBRK. And
it looks like a cheesy. That's like a cheesy vanity license plate.
Yeah. So maybe
HRTBRK. That would have been great.
It's a little too try hard. So I was like, well, ZC's my initials. I'll keep it to myself. And Cardiac, I've always kind of been an emotional guy at heart. I don't really express that too much, but as far as the music that I wanted to make, I wanted it to be more introspective to me as a person and who I am, whether it's through an experience or through a relationship, whatever. So, just kind of coming from the heart. So Cardiac, it's kind of where
you just gained 300 female followers. You're welcome.
Yes, thank you, Derek. You're helping me out here.
Again, man, so proud of you. Congratulations on everything. Look forward to hearing the new songs as they keep cranking out, man.
Oh man, well, thank you so much for having me, Derek. This was a blast.
Appreciate it, brother. You got it, man. Absolutely.
Listening to A Drink with Derek. Find out when Derek is appearing near you by checking out DerekRichards.com. See you next time for A Drink with Derek.